Hello, my name's Christine, and I'm almost finished the third and final book in the Scythe trilogy, The Toll by Neal Shusterman. If you've been here a while, you know that I have a book talk for Scythe, and I have a book talk for Thunderhead. I didn't plan to do either of these book talks, but then I read Scythe. It was absolutely amazing. The best thing I had read in so long, and the most excited I've been about a series in ages. The most excited I've been for something that wasn't Cassandra Clare or Sarah J. Maas. It's so excellent. I will direct you to my Scythe book talk if you'd like to hear more about Scythe, if you have not read it yet. Then please watch my Thunderhead book talk, because I was so proud of this discussion. I was so excited. I was off the wall, yo. Things were coming together, and I was like, oh my god, this is so... I wasn't expecting this at all. I started The Toll last week, and I have never been more excited in the first couple of chapters of the book to see everything I was saying coming to light. When you predict something that's gonna happen, that's kind of obvious it's gonna happen, it's not as much fun. But when you predict something and it kind of starts as an off-the-wall thing, and then as the book goes on, it starts to back it more and more, and then you start the third book, and it's like, oh my god, it's happening! It's happening! You guys, it's happening! It's all happening! So, I'm not done with The Toll yet. I have 2.5 hours left on it, but I wanted to start with this non-spoilery section because I didn't want to talk about it so bad before I forget all the things I want to talk about, okay? This trilogy, and I haven't finished it, I'm 2 hours out, but at this point, I think it is the best trilogy I have ever read aside from the Clockwork Angel trilogy, which I love so much, but it's a completely different genre, so it's hard to compare them. That is more of a romance fantasy, urban fantasy that takes place in London. Oh my god, it's so good. But this is like a utopian future of our Earth where we've mastered death, like nobody dies, we can revive anyone. Immortality is an issue. And so scythes exist. Scythes, people whose job it is to kill people so that we don't get overpopulated, are hired, and they are the most powerful people in society. They get to choose who dies, and they have a quota every month. They have to kill a certain amount of people. Hey, I'm future Christine who's finished. Can confirm that this is the best non-Cassandra Clare trilogy. I can't bring down the Infernal Devices because that will forever be like my favorite trilogy of all time, but this is right up there with it. It's the best trilogy I've ever read. You have to read it if you haven't yet. Anyway, this is the third book. I'm going to be talking about The Toll now in a non-spoiler way, so if you haven't read these two, you're gonna want to go and then come back and join me for this discussion. The series is just so clever. It just makes me so happy. You know what? We're going into The Toll now, so if you don't want to be spoiled for The Toll, please leave. If you're ready to talk about The Toll, hello. So when I was talking about Thunderhead, I was bounding with the excitement that this is a complete biblical parallel with, the rise of Jesus and the believing in God. We go on this whole journey where we've basically eradicated that kind of faith. It seems silly because science is so real and we've mastered science to such a degree, but we've created our own God, the Thunderhead, to rule us. And he talks to us. We've created our own Eden, and we're going through the whole cycle Adam and Eve went through, where they were marked sinners and then they didn't have access to him anymore. They couldn't talk to God anymore. They had to do all this stuff that makes life more difficult and run their own society. The Thunderhead has done that to the whole population. Everyone is feeling lost, and then we've got one guy who could talk to God, and then people are like, yeah, right, you can talk to God. And then they talk to him, and it feels like a miracle, the stuff he knows, the stuff he can do for people. Oh my god, when he brought the pigeons or the doves to cover him to show that he was the Thunderhead, it's so Jesus. We've effectively seen this return, like history coming back around with The Toll. He even has a special name, The Toll. The Thunderhead's like a father to him. Legit, the Thunderhead feels so protective of Grayson. The Thunderhead watches Grayson sleep as a comfort. The Thunderhead is obsessed with him because he's like his son. He speaks only through him. He's so proud of him. And then there's a Judas character, Mendoza. His disciples are the Tonists. They defend him. They shouldn't be talking that way to you. You're this and this and this. And he's like, I'm just a person. All the Jesus power. Oh my god. And I love it. I love it. I know I always discuss this, but I love biblical parallels. Because they come out of nowhere and then they hit you in the face and you're like, whoa! It's so thought-provoking and it says so much about humans and society and how we run and the cycles we go through. It's so good. I'm not to the end yet, but we go as far as the idea that you have to be religious to go to heaven, to transcend Earth, because guess what? The fucking Tonists, the dead Tonists, are going to space to start the new colonies. It's insanity. The crazy zealot Tonists going to violence. The martyrs. It's just so good. So good. I haven't even delved into anything else. The first chapter, we heard this speech from Goddard giving this complete lie about what happened on Andorra. All I did was pace around my room and be like, fuck you, fuck you. Fuck you, fuck you. I listened to the audiobooks. I didn't even talk about that. The audiobooks for these books are excellent. So excellent that I don't have the physical book yet for the Toll because I was just really, really excited for the audiobook and I downloaded it the second it came out. I have to get it. Obviously, I need the physical book. It's just so weird I'm doing a book talk without it. Here I am with it. This book talk is gonna be all over the place. It's not gonna be an organized discussion. It's the last book. Everything in my head is chaos because there's so much going on. There's so many beautiful storylines coming together to this crescendo of amazingness. We've got Grayson and the Tonists, then we've got Goddard on the island with Mureda and all those people building stuff that turns out to be rockets. Oh my gosh. I think the thought goes through all of our minds in the first book. Why haven't we expanded to other planets? And maybe we just can't. Maybe there was a big issue with it. And we finally breached that topic here. We had established colonies on the moon and Mars, and they were both slaughtered and covered up by scythes to be accidents, which led everyone on Earth to believe that space is just not an option for us, which was complete bullshit, and the Thunderhead had to just deal with this. And it turns out they were all planned by guess who? Scythe motherfucking Goddard. I hate that bitch. I hate that bitch. I hate that bitch. Who has been around much longer than I even anticipate, I even thought to think that he'd been around for, And he did this, of course, and why? Why would he do this? As Dante Alighieri explains, without an ounce of remorse. Well, it would render us unneeded and powerless, and we couldn't let that happen. Scythes are very important to society. We can't be immortal. Basically, scythes are all powerful deities. They're not gods, because that's the Thunderhead, but they're a step down. And if we expanded to other planets, there's room for more people, so there's no need to glean people, so they don't need to be that powerful. Why would we respect them the way that they are revered right now? Slowly but surely, as the colonies evolved and we didn't need people to die, it would come up as an issue. Why are we killing people if there's enough space for people? Why would we do that? It's just evil. And of course, Faraday had to take that into his own hands because he can't have that. He needs to be revered. He orchestrates this genocide in every space colony that the Thunderhead had established. We're so much more global in this book. We've gone to Japan, Saudi Arabia, England, we've gone to Brazil, we've been all over the place. We're in Guam, we're in the South Pacific on a random island. Is it Hawaii? Are those atolls Hawaii? I don't even... Maybe it is Hawaii. I didn't even think about that. But the atoll might be Hawaii, and the Hawaii might have been made to be the Thunderhead's blind spot. Oh no, it doesn't really matter. It's just fascinating to think about. I was waiting so impatiently for Citra and Rowan to come back into our lives. When am I gonna get Citra and Rowan? When am I gonna get Citra and Rowan? We're introduced to this character, Jericho, who I love. They're so supportive and protective and badass. And I love their relationship with Citra and Grayson and how open-minded they are. And how much of a positive influence they are on everyone around them. I feel like Jericho just uplifts every situation. At this point, I'm not done. I'm really shivving him very hard with Grayson. In the beginning of the book, Grayson talking about the Thunderhead was just so biblical. How he was saying everything the Thunderhead does is for a reason and it's for a greater purpose, and everything that he leads on the ground has to appear authentic. The Thunderhead never asked for adoration. God never asked for adoration. People just did it because humanity, end up needing something to believe in, and that's why the Thunderhead as an entity worked so well. Now it's evolving into the God we know today from religion. And hypothetically, if this goes on long enough, if this society keeps moving forward, the Thunderhead will become a myth, just like gods of the past have become a myth. And people will either believe in it or not believe in it. And it's gonna recycle all over again because people can't hear the Thunderhead anymore. The Thunderhead's been working on creating another version of itself this whole time, which has been fascinating AF. You're kind of is the Thunderhead trying to have a friend? You know, is the Thunderhead trying to produce a mate to just like work with him? What's the Thunderhead planning to do? Is he planning to self-glean? Is he planning to go to space and not be on Earth anymore? But because he could do everything at once before, what is his deal? Is he planning to become flesh? What is happening? Is the Thunderhead depressed? This whole time, of course, I'm so scared that Grayson is gonna be gleaned. Because we know, as the parallel goes, he becomes a martyr, obviously. Of course, Goddard sends a Scythe to glean the toll. I love how everything with Scythe Morrison gets flipped and turned on its head. I love that Grayson figured out what was going on. The Thunderhead was trying to tell him with the hot baths, which was genius. I love the redemption journey that we see Scythe Morrison go on there. It's one of those gray area Scythes that can be pulled to the dark side because he'd rather do what is easy than what is right. But now he's chosen what is right and there's no going back. Again, we're exploring so many facets of humanity. The need and the importance of giving someone a second chance after making very poor decisions. We see it happening over and over again throughout the novel, but especially with Scythe Morrison, with all the Tonus. And I think Scythe Rand is going on a little journey of her own. Like, we know she's been on the brink of turning on Goddard for so long, but she hasn't yet, and I can't wait for her to do it.